In August of 2013, we were having issues. Lainey just kept getting sick over and over again. And with her being my second child, I just felt like something wasn't right. I don't know, everyone says that they kind of hear that inner voice, and I just followed that inner voice. So she started running a fever again. I asked the doctor, run every test that you can run on her, run her blood. I don't know, but something is not right. So they did, and less than an hour later, I got the phone call as the parent of two young girls that you never ever think that you were going to get. And the pediatrician said, I'm going to be honest, I'm really concerned about leukemia, and you could have knocked me over with a feather. She said, we need you to drive straight downtown to Dallas to Children's, and they're going to be waiting for you when you get there. My husband and I got in the car, took her down there right away, and when we got to the emergency room, I ran around to get Lainey out, and when I picked her up, I could tell that her fever had spiked just during the ride, and she was on fire. And I got her inside the emergency room, and essentially she started shaking right as soon as we got in the door. And they got her in a room right away, and they started doing her vitals. There was a whole team of people working on her, and they took her temperature and yelled it out in Celsius degrees, which I didn't understand. I didn't know the translation for that, but I did know the look on the nurses' faces when they said it. And they yelled it out a second time and took it a second time, and I said, what? I don't understand. What is her temperature? And she looked at me and she said, it's 106 degrees. And literally, you remember moments of your life, and that was one of the defining moments for me, that I knew all of a sudden it went from they're just being overly cautious to my child is very, very sick. So after several hours in the ER and lots of doctors in and out, an oncologist came in and talked to me and explained that based on the preliminary testing that she felt like it was probably leukemia, but she wasn't sure, and that they were going to need to do a bone marrow biopsy several days later to be able to confirm that. And we were in there on a Friday afternoon, and so it was going to be Monday before we could get the biopsy. But she looked at me and she said, leukemia is your best option. So when you hear someone say that to you, you never in a million years, first of all, think, again, you never think that your child is going to get cancer. But to hear the words leukemia is your best option is definitely a life-changing experience. Lainey finished her first 30 days of treatment with the goal with leukemia, and her type of leukemia is to be able to put them in remission within the first 30 days. So fortunately for us, we actually got the news on September 30th of last year, which happens to be my birthday, that Lainey was officially in remission. But that really is just the beginning for any leukemia survivor and someone that's fighting leukemia, because with Lainey's type of leukemia, she'll actually have treatment for a total of almost 2.5 years. So in March of this year, I was training for my first ever half marathon with LLS's Team and Training Division to honor Lainey's fight. And I wanted to raise money as well. Obviously, for me, awareness and raising funds are really important, and that's part of our journey that we're supposed to do through all of this. But I decided if Lainey could do 2.5 years of chemo, then I could train for 7 months and run 13 miles. I kept telling myself that every morning when I got up at 5:30 in the morning, running over and over again. So I felt something just doing a self-breast exam that didn't feel right. Didn't necessarily feel like a lump, but it didn't feel right to me. So I called and scheduled doctor's appointments and so forth. And ultimately, on Good Friday, I received the diagnosis that I had stage 3 breast cancer. I actually just completed 6 rounds of chemotherapy on August the 26th of this year. I had a double mastectomy 3 weeks ago, today, as a matter of fact. on September 30th, which was my 40th birthday present for myself, was cancer-free. That's the best kind of birthday that you can have. We decided to partner with LLS because they have such a high percentage of the dollar that goes actually towards the mission to be able to fund research and to be able to really help people. That was really important to us. And also, quite honestly, LLS is funding critical, cutting-edge research that would not happen otherwise. So that's such an important part of it.